Hello. We got release 7 went live this morning, December 3rd on the cycle. It's I don't know. I'm a little scared. You'll notice the picture they chose is guns. Guns. Cuz it has to do with guns. 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 Everything. I think every gun got some attention. And they all kind of got the same changes too. They're all, I want to say, pretty much nerfs. It's just the fact that they all got the same kind of attention, I feel like I'll show you. It makes me wonder a little bit. But anyways, look at this. Microsoft Edge. This round we made some range tweaks. The effective range of all weapons now more logically follows their function. For example, SMGs like the Flechette. Flechette. Haven't used it yet. Or the Gorgon. I think those are the only two guns I haven't used yet. Will be more effective at close to medium range, while the damage fall off outside of these ranges will be steep. So now there's more strategy around your engagement ranges. Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm seeing, is they've done a lot of, it's more like rebalancing, but it's also change the guns to dial them in a little bit more, and gunfights should last. The time to kill is already a little long, and I feel like they're going to be a little longer, but all of the weak point damages pretty much got buffed. So if you're a sloppy person and just firing at the body, you kind of got hit hard in the game. If you're able to land more headshots, you'll get rewarded for it. So it'll be interesting to see how the gunplay changes with the rebalancing of the weapons. But yes, all the ranges definitely got touched as well. Spread got touched as well. We also changed some values around the game's tempo. Things like equipped and unequipped weapons, strafing speeds, vehicle boost duration, and sprint out times. We also wanted to tailor the experience further by reducing the weapon assignments in the gear store. Finally, there have also been quite a few updates to our guns, abilities, kits as a whole. Check it out. Yes, we'll get into that too. Weapon balancing, again, recoil has been increased. The target and crouch multiplier was decreased. Increased equipped time. Animation equipped increased. Minimal spread increased. Max spread increased. Reload time increased. Refire time increased. Base damage reduced. Damage fall off increased. Damage fall off multiplier reduced. Weak spot multiplier increased. So I started off kind of highlighting a lot of the nerfs and the buffs, and I got to the third weapon. I'm like, wait, it's just all red. It's all red. So we just left the clear as day buff. So they buffing weak spot multiplier across the board on everything, and everything else is getting reduced. So like the core, the phasic. I'll have a link in the description below if you want to go through and look at all the exact numbers, or you can pause the video as I'm scrolling down. But literally every weapon. The auto pistol didn't get anything buff-wise. They didn't get a weak spot multiplier. Hammer didn't either. The Scarab didn't either. The Bulldog, I like the Bulldog. I don't know if you've seen any of my streams, but I'm pretty good with the Bulldog. And even the devs commented on it when they came in during the playtest too. So base damage was increased by 2 points. That's cool. Damage fall off range reduced. So now I got to be a little closer, it looks like, which is fine. Shooting from far away sucks. I don't know what 2,000 meters is, so I don't know how close that actually is. But 1,500 to 750, that hurts. Damage fall off multiplier reduced, so I don't take such a big hit, but that's cool. The PD dub, same thing across the board with everybody. Increased reload spread, recoil. Weak spot multiplier increased. Flechette, boom. The KBR and the bolt action. The KBR actually got multiplier, weak spot multiplier increase. And the same kind of decreases or nerfs as everything else. The bolt action didn't get, they got a weak spot multiplier decrease. Ouch. Kinetic Arbiter. They have a weak area multiplier was increased, and if you crouch with it, it's going to be more less recoil when you crouch, which was kind of cool to see. I haven't used that weapon yet. Shotgun, all nerfs. Carla, Zeus Beam. The base damage of the Zeus Beam was actually increased. I feel like they've done a lot of changes to the Zeus Beam. I have never used it, so I don't know what it feels like, if it was bad before, if it's okay now, if it's overpowered now. Comrade, Karma, my Brute. Same thing. Increased recoil base spread, increased reload time, increased weak spot multiplier, increased. The Basilisk, I'm just gonna say headshots. Headshots increased. Lacerator. Well, I guess there's some chests on the NPCs, but PvP, man, PvP, right? Who cares about this? Changes to the NPCs. Weak spot multiplier, increased on the Lacerator. Targeting time was increased. I don't know what targeting time means unless they got lazy and changed their verbiage. I view this as a buff or a good rework on the detonator. The projectile changed to explode on impact. I didn't like that they bounced. I haven't really used it a lot, so I'm impartial to it. The Gorgon got their headshot multiplier increase. Maelstrom, Haze, Manticore. Manticore also got, we'll get to that. The upgrade level 2 costs more for some reason. Weak spot multiplier increased. Scrapper, same thing. Headshots increased. The guarantee. Gun and audio improvements. They updated the reload sound effects for the following weapons. PD Dub, Bulldog, Maelstrom, Core. Updated firing sound effects for the following weapons. I feel like everybody's gotten new shooting sounds, but I can always tell the Core because it didn't change. I don't know the Maelstrom and the auto pistol, so now I got to learn 3 new again. So from a distance, I can tell what kind of gun I'm running into. I like that about the game. It's awesome. I can always tell what kind of gun I'm getting shot at by, or what kind of gun I'm going to run into if I charge it with a gun firing that I hear at a distance. Ability balancing. So last update, they nerfed everything down to 1, right? So turrets got from infinite down to 1 turret. Now we got raised back up to 4. Directional warp and warp bomb took a big change last update also, and they've increased the speeds, which were decreased dramatically last update. So now the projectile is faster. Reduced activate time was also there, and the cooldown was increased on the directional warp. I don't know what it was before. I used the warp bomb. I haven't really played with directional warp yet. For those of you that are running double warp bomb and directional warp bomb, I hate you. So does a lot of other people. Just die. You're not going to go into it. Vehicles got a little bit of a change. So the boosted duration used to be 1.5 seconds. Now it's 2.5 seconds. But the cooldown now is 4 seconds instead of 3 seconds. So you can boost longer, but you have to wait 1 extra second to boost. Gear store changes. The Gorgon reduced the price from upgrade 2 from 200 to 100. So it got cheaper for upgrade 2 on the Gorgon. Manticore, upgrade 2 went from 100 to 200. The Manticore is a $500 weapon. It should have been 200 anyways. That's bizarre. I didn't know that it was 100. Gorgon's a 200, so it should have been 100. So those I never noticed. But I didn't really play with Manticore much this last update, and I've never used the Gorgon yet. Scanner and Translocator. I didn't know your gadgets could upgrade. Silly me. Upgrade 2 added the gear store, adds 5% base movement speed. Reduced upgrades cost from 200 to 100. That's cool. That should have never been a $200 upgrade for it. The scanner. Get out of here. Translocator. Upgrade 2 removes 1 second spin up time. I'll have to look at the upgrades to see what they do with the gadgets. Kit balancing. We've reduced the amount of weapon slots from 4 to 3. I was just starting to run around with 4 because I always have so much money I'd buy a 4th item, but usually I only have 2 items. So that doesn't really affect me. Increased strafe speed slightly. That's cool, especially on some of like the boxer kit, man. Base kit. Increased the jump height value of the starter kit from 650 to 750 to meet the same stats as the MK2. The base kit starts with a directional scanner. This is temporary implementation, as we would love to get some feedback on the scanner from you. Quick suit. They moved the energy regen, or emergency regen, from level 2 to level 7. There's a lot of games I don't get to level 7. For those of you that don't know what emergency regen is that's the increased or reduced cooldown of your health and shields for those of you that have shot people that bunny hop around like crazy and they go around a rock and they come back out within like 1 second later and they almost have full health, that's because they're emergency regen. It is now moved to level 7. What level 7 used to be was reload on weapon swap. So if those two have swapped, now you might see people running double weapons on the quick suits. I never did because I never really worried about perk 7. But now, at level 2, if you're going to get the reload on weapon swap, you could run 2 level 200 weapons before a 500 weapon, and if you get in a fight, you could just keep switching instead of reloading. Now, there's a lot of changes above on weapon swap times and animations and stuff, so it might, I don't know, with versus reload time, if it's going to be worth it or not, but yeah, that's rough. That's rough. I mean, now you're more in line with everybody else on their regens, but woo, that early game being able to just mess with people, that's gonna hurt. I'm a quick suit player if you didn't notice. Visual and miscellaneous. Match startup time in the lobby has been reduced. The visual effects and decal information for the cycle spike has been updated to better reflect the chaos of the cycle spike. So before it was just a circle on the ground, like a HUD circle, like you just saw a ring and you're like, oh, you're going to get zapped. Now it actually glows and magnetic sparks shoot up into the air and this big explosion comes down out of the sky of impending doom. Because it is impending doom, especially in PvP. If you go to a cycle spike location and you're fighting and you're strafing into one of those things, you're done. Done. We improved the biomass pickup for the hunt contract. That's cool. They're doing a lot of visual upgrades over the last two releases, and that's awesome. Weapon skin icons in the Fortuna Pass have been iterated on, so it is clear that they are weapon skins and which weapon they apply to. We added clarification in the end of match flow for cases where match rewards arrive at a delayed time. For example, if your squad is still playing, but you aren't. New mode, the virtual match. This is cool. Especially for me. I like to test things like to run around and do things, and that's exactly what this is for. The virtual match is a new button in the main menu. You can start a virtual match while queuing for a regular match. The virtual match simulates a standard solo match with the contract rules that apply for solo. So no laser drills, unfortunately. God, I love those. I miss them. You can use it to test loadouts and find optimal routes from different spawn points. You do not need to get, you do not get any XP, materials, or progress for the Fortuna Pass in this mode. It is just a simulation. Nav mode updates, man. It's a cool visual thing, but again, for me, after playing the game for a couple days, I don't need it. It's literally something for new players. I feel. I use the map. I like the map. I don't need a nav mode, but they added the scoreboard to the nav mode for extended functionality. They want it's a cool mode, and it seems useful. It definitely could use some new functionality from what they implemented it last update, and so they want some feedback. Obviously, I'm not creative enough to see anything that I need in the game that I wish to add, but that's something you guys could head over to the Discord and leave some comments on if you have some ideas for the nav mode. That's that new mode that if you pull out your, there's not a compass, but you pull out you click the middle mouse button, and you pull out a compass that doesn't work. There's an input. Devs, why does the compass spin like it's out of control? It should, if anything, let the compass at least tell me what direction I'm looking at. Then I might use it. I'm going north, but I'm still going to pull up in the map. Or look at the mini map, either or. But still, the compass doesn't work. I pulled that thing out and OCD was going. I was like, what? The compass is spinning. But, yeah. Fixes and improvements. Faction XP, this was an issue, and I think that's been changed. The hotfix didn't necessarily fix everything. It should be fixed now. Performance improvements to reduce hitches. We implemented some fixes for people with less powerful PCs. Sometimes it happened that these players had problems during their spawn and could not play the match properly. That sucks. Then they're still working on some issues for Russian players. Known issues, blah, blah, blah. Some of the new text is not properly implemented in all languages. It will be updated as soon as possible. This relates to the following things. station help overlay, story missions, HUD changes, nav mode, some of the reworked abilities. The Revitalizer can only be upgraded by 1 level in the gear store, despite saying that there is a level 2 available. So that's a known issue. I don't know what the level 2 is supposed to be. Again, I didn't know gadgets could be upgraded. I'll have to look at it. Again, same thing that I always preach to everybody in my live streams, and they say right here, it's an early access. Early access. That's not what I wanted. I wanted the highlighter. So there's still a lot of things they're doing. It looks like they're doing a release or a big major update. God, the last one was halfway through November, so every 2 to 3 weeks now. And they're adding big features like the new mode, the nav menu. I know that they've got, do they have the Trello board on here? They don't. They're working on making a player space, or what do they call it? A social space for the lobbies. And all of your instead of going to a menu tab to buy upgrades and stuff, there'll be vendors and stuff like that. And they've got it implemented. It's not implemented in the game yet, but they have it up and running. They're still tweaking it, working on it. That might show up in the next update. There's a lot of cool things. That map 2 preview was amazing. That map 2 needs to come out sooner than later. So maybe next update we'll see map 2 also. And they'll just rotate. Or maybe they'll take map 1 out and do some changes to map 1. I feel like map 1 needs some more. After playing map 2, map 1 feels just like a flat circle cluster of biomes that just mesh together. I feel like there needs to be more locations or more iconic stuff to it. It's literally just it feels plain. It feels plain. It just needs a little bit of love, I feel. But other than that, it's release 7. A lot of weapon changes. I'm curious. And it's not just one. So everything got hit exactly the same. So I feel like if you get into a gunfight and you're using your favorite weapon, you're not going to feel like you're dying to something else because your weapon got nerfed. I feel like their intention was to make the weapons feel like you have to get closer if it's SNG. You get rewarded more for headshots now. So we'll have to see more gunplay. I just feel like you have to treat your gun like a gun. Like any game. You just don't spray it center mass and wreck people. So that'll be cool. Kind of scared. Anyways, speaking of streaming, I stream daily on Twitch at twitch.tv/SlyGumbi between the late night hours of 8 p.m. till about 2 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I do a ton of Cycle along with a lot of other games. I'm starting to put out some guide videos for this game as well. So stay tuned to this channel for some of that. We do a lot of testing in the training room on the kits. And so we're going to have some videos on the kits here very soon. You can follow me also on Twitter at SlyGumbi for news, updates, notifications, goofiness. We have a Discord channel. Link will be in the description below. And the website should be up and running again at slygumbi.com. Yes, should be. See you guys in the next one. Bye-bye now.